Hi all, Plantside Agent here. Today we're going to take a look at using the Trangia Micro cook kit with the round alcohol burner. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. A while back I was looking at my shelf of cook kits and stoves, etc. And I was looking at this guy. And I got to thinking that, man, with this little pot, this burner seems like overkill for the amount. For just with this little pot, considering that this burner's used in their big the 27 and the 25 storm cookers. So I thought, I wonder if and also when I ran the boil test on this, the performance, I mean, it did the job, but it didn't boil it that fast. I've seen better burn because the space between the top of the Trangia burner and the bottom of the pots is only just shy of 3/4 of an inch. It's about 11/16 if you measure the little about a 1/16 of an inch gap here. So that's not the sweet spot, which is usually around an inch and a quarter or so. So I thought, this being like, say, seemed overkill, and also the spacing, maybe it would work better with my little round alcohol tin alcohol burner. Let's see, when I did that, when I did the original burn on this test, it took 10 minutes and 19 seconds to boil 2 cups of water. And if you're interested in my original video and the burn test, I'll leave a link to that video in the description if you want to go back and watch the burn for whatever reason. But anyway, so I thought I'd just go ahead and do a burn test with this one to see how it works. Now, if I just drop this in the bottom of the pot stand, the gap is going to be, let's see, 1.5 inches, which is in the sweet spot, which is about 400 millimeters. That's one of the burns I'm going to do, and I'm just for have it a little bit closer to see if that makes a difference in the burn time. I'm going to go ahead and set the lid in the bottom, set this on top, so that'll give me a gap of 1 inch, 1.125 or 280 millimeters. So we'll see what kind of performance we get out of that setup. So I'll go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to set this up for the boil test and get right back to you. All right, I'm ready to fire this off. I've got 16 ounces, 2 cups of water at 66 degrees, which is a little warmer than the last ones I ran, which is around 56, but that's okay. It's not going to make that big of a difference. So let's go ahead and light this off and see how long it takes this little guy to boil the water, if at all. Let's go ahead and it's off. Go ahead and set the timer. Okay, so now it's just a waiting game. I'm going to go ahead and let you look at the flame pattern. Okay, there's your flame pattern. Going pretty good. While we're waiting for this to come to a boil, I've done all kinds of videos on using this little round tin, building round tin burners, different boil tests. Also, I've got a lot of different boil tests on different pots and stuff. So if you're interested in any of that sort of thing, if you haven't seen them, not aware of them, I do have a playlist of all my stove burns. So if you want to go take a look at those and see what I did. But actually, these little round tin, I've built these into a couple of different brew kits or cook kits, and see, they're nice, cheap little burner. Work great. So getting pretty close to 11. Almost 7 minutes. I hear it roaring inside there. There you go. Say 6 minutes and 56 seconds. So that's quite a bit faster. Let me go ahead and blow this out here. Oops. found that's the best way to extinguish these. Originally I tried just using the cap, but it melted the gasket. Didn't get, even though I just dropped it on, and sometimes it didn't completely turn it off or snuff it out. It would flare out around the lid. So yeah, I found just blowing it works the best. So I hope it didn't, my fat head down there didn't scare y'all. But anyway, so that's a very respectable time. These little burners do work well. So considering the original Trangia took 10 minutes and 19 seconds, the water's a little cooler, so you're talking probably not even a minute difference, I imagine, with the temperature. But anyway, so that's quite a savings. Also, by switching to this little lightweight burner, which weighs basically nothing. I don't remember what the weights are. I have that in the other videos. So you're looking about saving quite a bit of weight over the Trangia, which is all brass, a little bit heavier. So that's another advantage. Of course, you got weight, and then you'd also, by using the little burner, you'd have more room inside when you pack this all up to put more in your brew kit. So just something to think about. I don't know if I might just go that way, because if you're looking for lightweight and compactness, then going with the little burner is probably a better idea. Although if you're just like going out for 1 or 2 brews, you can always store the fuel inside the Trangia. Where this guy, you really can't store the fuel. It will seal up, but it's not that tight of a seal. So you'd have to bring an extra little bottle of fuel, which would fit inside here, I'm sure. I might just build a cook kit up using this burner, a brew kit, cook kit, and if I do, I'll do a video on that one to see how I built it out. So, well, that's the first burn test with it at the bottom, which is going to give you the 1.5 inches of spacing between the top of the burner and the bottom of the pot. So just out of curiosity, I'm going to throw this on top of the lid to raise it up just a little bit and see what kind of a difference in performance that is. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all set up, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, set up for burn test number 2, and we've got again 16 ounces of 67-degree water, which is a degree more than the last burn, but that's not going to make that much difference. And so let's go, and this one is the burner sitting on top of the if its lid, so that raises it up to 1.1 inches from the top of the burner to the bottom of the pot, which the other one was 1.5 inches. This is 1.8 inches. So let's see what kind of difference that makes. So light it off. There we go. Oops, hit the timer. I mean, this isn't purely scientific. I know if I was going to write this in a journal, they'd crucify me for all the little variations, since everything's not exactly easy. But since this isn't for any scientific study, I'm not writing any papers. Just for general comparison. Of course, everything's going to vary all over the place when you're outdoors. The outside air temperature, it's a little warmer in here than the last time I did videos. It's 70 degrees in here right now. Usually it's anywhere from 55 to 65. So air temperature, humidity, blah, 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 blah. So just for some general interest in comparison, that's what these are all about. So, and there's your burn pattern for this test. Yeah, getting close. 210 at 655. The other one was at 656, so it's a little bit slower. We're almost there. Okay, we'll say 7 minutes and 9 seconds for the boil time, which is what, about the same. And since it started at a degree warmer, well, then I guess it would be a little bit not as fast as the 1.5 inches. So the 1.8 inches, it's a little bit slower. So, and probably for practical standpoint, you wouldn't want to bother having to set that on the little tray anyway, so just set the burner as is in the bottom of the pot stand and let her rip. And I got to thinking, these are definitely two styles of burner. Obviously this is the pressurized. Trangia is a pressurized alcohol burner. It builds up pressure from the heat, and that gives you your jets. And the little round tin is just an empty container with I have carbon felt coiled up in there. That's kind of a wicking agent, and also to keep it from spilling all over the place. So I thought, just out of maybe completeness or curiosity, the biggest thing is, I wonder how this type of burner does at the same distance as the Trangia, which is at 3/4 of an inch. So this is just about 3/4 of an inch. So I got set up for another boil. So let's. I thought I'd just share that with you, for my own curiosity, and so we'll go ahead and see how that works. So it's all loaded up. I've got, again, 16 ounces of 67-degree water, and we'll go ahead and light this off and see what happens. There we go. We're off. Okay, there's your burn pattern. Okay, while we're waiting for the water to boil, the 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, that's kind of the accepted sweet spot for alcohol burners. I know a lot of YouTubers have done tests on that. Hiram Cook, for one's done a lot of different tests on alcohol burners and stoves. If you want to go out and look at his stuff, he hasn't done anything in quite a few years, but I always enjoyed watching his videos. Also, Paleo Hiker MD, he's done some burn tests. I believe he's done also on the different heights, some on those, and he's got extensive boil and stove tests. If you want to go look at his channel, they're pretty interesting too. So anyway, there's a lot of evidence out there about that sweet spot. Getting close. 2:10 at 8 minutes. Should be up to 11. Trouble getting over that last degree hump here. There it is, 8:14. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish powering everything down, and we'll summarize. Okay, we'll summarize things. This was very interesting in that this burner, which is, like I mentioned before, it's just a little 1 ounce round tin with carbon felts coiled around inside. It took 8 minutes and 14 seconds to boil 2 cups of water, where the Trangia, at the same burner height, took 10 minutes and 19 seconds, more or less, with temperature. So it's interesting that this little guy is more efficient than this style burner. I'm not really surprised that this is better than the Trangia, because if you're familiar with these Fancy Feast stoves, which is just a Fancy Feast cat food tin with a wick of carbon felt, these boil 2 cups of water in about 6 minutes also, so they're very efficient. So for some reason, the wick type alcohol burners are more efficient than the jet style. So, but that's just not great differences, but it's a difference nonetheless. So anyway, just to summarize the whole burn on these, using this little guy, just in the bottom of the just sitting in the bottom of the pot stand at that's 1.5 inches. It took 6 minutes 56 seconds. Setting it on top of the lid, which raised it up to 1 1/8 inches, that took 7 minutes and 9 seconds. And moving it up to the 3/4 mark, which I set it on another tin I had, that took 8 minutes and 14 seconds, so well over a minute more. So that 1.5 inch sweet spot is the sweet spot if you're building your own or setting up your own alcohol stove and you want to get the biggest bang for the buck. That's the way to go. Let's see. I think what I might do, just out of curiosity, might do a boil test later on with the Trangia at its 3/4 heights, and then maybe put some trivets or something to raise the pot up to about the 1.5-inch mark, and just see what kind of performance difference we get. So I might go ahead and do that boil test later. No guarantee if I'll make a video of that or not. I might just do it for my own curiosity. No, I'll do a video if I'm going to do it, just to share with you guys, but I can't guarantee when it's going to come out. So anyway, guess I bored you all enough. I can't think of anything else really to say about this one. It was surprising or interesting. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.